Hello, I'm TheZOMBIEJ, and I apologize for, well, only one video yesterday, so I'm gonna make up for that with, I don't know, 4 videos today. We'll see. But, yeah. It's time to talk about Hero Factory Breakout. Yes, Breakout. So, remember in 2012 when we got a Crowd Shell song, Breakout. Good song. If they did concerts and tours, I could see them concluding each concert with that song. It's a concert finisher, I would say. Tyne Midgard was on vocals and everything was awesome. But when it comes to the story, it leaves a lot to be desired. The sets for 2012, there were 9 heroes. All 9 heroes were released in a Breakout edition. You got Raka with a what would have potentially have been a 1.0 helmet for Raka. You got Breeze, you got Furno, you got Surge, and you got Evo. All of these were released in the first wave. Stormer XL, despite all the jokes, it's a good set. Stormer XL, Nex, Stringer, and Bulk were all released in the second wave, second half of the year. So we got all 9 heroes, except not all of them were used in the animation. We'll talk about that. But there were also 9 villains. Core Hunter, XT4, Thornrax, which I have hanging right there, see? Yep. Split Face. Fuck off, computer. There were other villains. Toxic Reaper. Black Phantom. Trying to remember. Voltix. Jawblade. I think that's all the villains. Oh, and Speedy Demon. So yeah. 9 heroes, 9 villains, 18 sets in total for 2012. Fantastic amount of sets for Hero Factory. They went all out with this one. They didn't release Breakout on DVD, but the bootleg companies managed to do that for us. I was never able to get it, so at least it's on YouTube. So the sets were pretty good, for the most part. There were some that were kind of shite, like Nex, for example. Just go look at the helmet thing and you'll understand why I hate that set. It's the mask helmet thing alone that makes me want to vomit. And there were villains that were not used in the animation. Core Hunter, obviously. Thornrax, XT4. And there's another one I'm trying to remember. Well, whatever. Point is, there were 4 villains that were not used. There were 5 heroes, or no, 4 heroes. Damn it, now I can't remember. Okay, so, wow, very unprofessional. So, there were heroes in Hero Factory, and there were villains in Hero Factory Breakout that were not used. And so now we come on to the animation. The episode was 2 parts, much like Savage Planet, which was fine. It was like a short movie type of thing, so cool. But the villains that were in the animation, Jawblade, Voltix, Black Phantom, Toxic Reaper, Split Face, and Speedy Demon. And that's all I can remember. The heroes that were used in the animation: Evo, Stormer, Furno, Stringer, Surge. I'm sure there's another one that I'm missing. There were characters that should have been in the animation but weren't. So why bother having the fucking sets, Lego? If you're gonna give us all 9 heroes in 2012 and 9 villains for them to fight against in 2012, put them in the damn animation. It feels like a fucking waste, and Lego, you know it. You knew it, obviously. First of all, it would have made the Breakout episode even longer than it needed to be. Okay, I can see that, but why not? Make it longer. Yeah, it would be like 4 episodes in total, 4 parts. But at least it would have been, you know, captivating and fun and interesting. More interesting than what we did get. There was lost potential with Hero Factory Breakout, and it sucks balls. It really does. It feels like there was just... there were ideas that were tossed aside because Lego just... they couldn't be bothered to put enough resources into, and money, obviously, into the project of the animation in order to put every single hero and villain that they released that year in. It really is bullshit, and this is one thing that really pissed me off about Hero Factory Breakout. The lost potential of putting that version of Breeze, which I thought was excellent, Core Hunter, and yes, even Thornrax, but I can see why they didn't put Thornrax in there. It's just an insect. And I can understand why they didn't put XT4 in there, because it's just a droid robo thing. But seriously, if you're gonna have 18 fucking sets in 1 year, put them all in the animation, or don't release the ones that weren't in the animation. Fuck off, computer. This draws my piss to a boil because I was looking forward to seeing what they would do in terms of the animation with Breeze, with Bulk, with Nex. It would have been nice to have all 9 heroes in the episode, but we didn't get that because Lego were being cheap at that point. Like they are cheap now, it seems. They go all out when they need to on certain themes. They went all out with 2012, and it was excellent. It's not the best year of Hero Factory, but in terms of sets, it was the best year. Okay, no. In terms of the sets, there were some that were kind of bad, like Nex, and I would say XT4 as well. But I still say Brain Attack is the best year. And you know what? When it came to Brain Attack, they didn't use the Breakout Breeze in the animation. Why? Because they didn't use her in the Breakout animations. And you wonder why Hero Factory failed the way it did. There was a serious lack of potential, and it hurts. It really does. I look at Breakout nowadays as a year with some potential, but there's just so much lost potential. The characters that we got in set form did not make it in that animation, probably because of budgetary concerns. That's usually what it comes down to, is budgetary reasons or something darker behind, you know, the studio's existence. I don't know, but the point is, I really wanted to see what they would do with Breeze, with Core Hunter especially, with, you know, XT4, with Thornrax, with Nex, with Bulk. And you know what? In the Brain Attack episode, Bulk was in his 2.0 form. That didn't even exist. It was based on his 3.0 form, kind of. But, wow. This is just balls. The Hero Factory show in general had so much lost potential. It could have been amazing, and it wasn't. I already reviewed the show. Go watch that video from last year. But Breakout and Brain Attack seem to have just... These were episodes that had potential, but there was just not enough, promise here. There was nothing that LEGO could do to satisfy the fans enough with these two episodes. At least with Brain Attack, the sets were amazing. Those creatures were pretty damn good. And the heroes themselves, while we didn't get all 9 of them, they were still good. Best year of Hero Factory. You like Invasion from Below? Fuck you. I like Brain Attack. So, Breakout really felt like it was missing something. And this has become more noted today than it was back then. Back then, I imagine people were complaining about not seeing Breeze or Core Hunter or all these other fucks not in the animation, and probably having a shit fit when LEGO didn't even address it. They will never address it because, well, nowadays they're a pack of greedy fucks, but that's beside the point. The point is, the animation should have been 4 parts and combined, spliced together into a full movie for the DVD release if it had one. And it should have had all the heroes and all the villains in it. It would have been amazing. It would have been brilliant. It would have been something I would hail. I would buy it in a heartbeat for, I don't know, $15 for the DVD. I would watch it until the DVD quit working. And yeah. The quality wasn't there either. It seems like Breakout was not up to snuff when it came to the quality of the episodes of Hero Factory. The first 4 episodes from the Rise of the Rookies era were pretty good. They were goofy, but they were good. Ordeal of Fire was good as well. Savage Planet was excellent. And it seems like right at Savage Planet, Hero Factory was at its peak. But then Breakout happened, and well, the quality started to go down. In terms of, the dialogue, sometimes the animation too. Brain Attack happened, and the quality seemed to get a little bit more like, what the fuck? Seems like LEGO were just, throwing shit at the wall and see what stuck. Then Invasion from Below happened, and there was not even an actual episode. It's just a walkthrough animation compilation thing that someone posted on YouTube. I watched it and I was appalled. God damn it, LEGO. What did you do? What did you do when you were designing and eventually releasing and promoting these sets in 2014 that they came out so bad, except for the creatures. The creatures were great, that I couldn't be bothered to buy them. Many people didn't buy them either. I assume a lot of people managed to get at least only one set. I got none, because I didn't care. This was the worst year for Hero Factory. If you think otherwise, you're wrong. 100%. But Breakout had so much lost potential. It was fucking amazing. It really was. It was truly a kick in the balls to not see Breeze, to not see Core Hunter, and to not see any of those other characters that were not even in the episode. But there were characters during the hero meeting when it came to the what are those things called? The handcuff things. The newly designed handcuffs. There were heroes there that looked like they were in 2.0 form, but with 1.0 heads? What the flying fuck? Also, these were no-name characters. We knew nothing about these characters. They were fucking irrelevant. Where was Breeze? Where was Nex? Where was Bulk? What the fuck, Lego? Those three characters not being in Breakout was a real kick in the balls. It sucked balls too. It felt like Lego was just teabagging me in disappointment. And just giving me disappointment. And I hated it. They were like, yeah, take it like a little goddamn bitch, motherfucker. Yeah, well, fuck you too, Lego. Suck on this. Breakout was a good episode. Well, two-part episode for what it was. But the quality was going down. It really was. It was starting to suck, but it didn't suck as bad as Invasion from Below, when the quality dropped subpar. Just below subpar and par. It was really a massive ball ache to watch that walkthrough video compilation thing. If you find that on YouTube and you like it, fuck you. This is wrong. This really is wrong. That animation, it leaves a lot to be desired. It really does. The voice actors were not the right voice actors. There were some that were replaced for budgetary reasons or whatever. And it sucks. The last good episode, actually truly good, was Brain Attack. I enjoy Brain Attack. I enjoy the sets from Brain Attack. If you think otherwise, go fuck yourself. Brain Attack was good. I liked it. It wasn't perfect, no. But it was the best year that Hero Factory was able to give us. Damn well. The heroes looked pretty good. Yes, there were jokes about Furno XL, but still. I liked the sets from Hero Factory Brain Attack. Breeze over there. That's my favorite version of Breeze. If that's your least favorite Breeze, something's wrong with you, clearly. And if you prefer the 1.0 version of Breeze over that, wow. I get it, that version came first, but that doesn't make it the best. Arguably, I'd say it's the worst. Actually, no. It's the minifig that's the worst. Fuck. When it came to Breakout, Breakout had missing characters, but it had characters that were in the episode that didn't belong. There were other randomly chosen heroes to be just put into the CG episode for no goddamn reason other than the fact that they exist in the story. And yet they couldn't be bothered to put Breeze, Nex, and Bulk in there? What? Hero Factory Breakout was a mind fuck of an episode because of all this. Because those three characters were not there. There were three villain characters that were also missing. I would have at least liked to see Core Hunter and Bulk fight against Core Hunter. A serial killer for Hero Factory heroes? Yes, please. That's a brilliant concept. That is something just different, you know? Have you watched Halloween and just loving the Michael Myers saga there? Or Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger? Well, we got Core Hunter in the realm of, you know, a CCBS character in Hero Factory. Serial killer for kids. It was amazing. But we didn't get him in the fucking episode. They should have corrected this and put the 6 missing characters in the goddamn episode. Also, at the end of Breakout, we saw Von Nebula's hand poking a laptop button. Is that Von Nebula or is that Darkmaker? Yes, Darkmaker is just a fan name for this fucking twin brother of some sort of Black Phantom. But it's the only name that I can see being canonized. Darkmaker had the CCBS fists, not Von Nebula's Paraka Clawfoot hand. Are you idiots? They didn't know how to make this episode. They were rushing it to get it out the door as quickly as possible in time for the sets to be released. Why? It's that corporate greed, it really is. They were hoping to sell enough of the 2012 sets to recoup the cost of making the 2012 sets. And it didn't matter if the quality of the episode was shit. It was just... It was tragic. It really was. Let's get this off of the screen. Fuck off. There we go. Breakout was a real tragedy, and I hate... well, I don't hate the episode, but I hate how it was done. The story felt incomplete without those other 6 characters that we got physically. And it pisses me off to no end. I focus on those 6 characters not being in the episode because they should have been in the episode to begin with. Whether it be for budgetary concerns or something else in the background that we don't fucking know about because we don't fucking care enough. It really is tragic that those characters didn't end up in the episode, and they had the audacity to start Brain Attack with 2.0 Breeze and what would have been 2.0/3.0 Bulk. You see what I'm saying here? LEGO was fucking with us at that point. For fans of Hero Factory, you should be pissed at LEGO for doing this. I'm not the biggest fan of Hero Factory, but I grew to appreciate its legacy for what it was able to do for keeping me busy until Bionicle came back in 2015. In 2014, I didn't get the Hero Factory sets because I didn't want them. Now I'm probably kicking myself for that because, well, I could have at least gotten the creatures and the Evo XL mech, but I didn't. I could have at least used the parts. In fact, I'm going to do my best to hunt down all the sets and get the fucking parts so I can use them to build characters. Hero Factory fans, you should be pissed about Breakout and Brain Attack not being consistent with lore. The lore should have been complete at that point. But no, we didn't get Breeze, Core Hunter, Nex, Bulk, XT4, and, well, Thornrax. We didn't get those because I'm just gonna say it's corporate greed. It's always that. That's the thing that possesses and really it's part of the industry, the toy industry, that really curses the toy industry. It's a curse, it's a stain, it's bullshit, and we all know it. So they ended up sabotaging this episode so that, you know, we buy the sets confused as to, you know, why they weren't in the show. But we bought them anyway because we're suckers, apparently. Also, I got a question about what kind of black tea I drink. Lipton. There you go. Have fun with that one. Breakout and Brain Attack both had lost potential, but I feel like the worst was in Breakout because of it only being 2 parts and the missing characters and the quality of the episodes and the whatever bullshit reasons LEGO had for not including the characters in those episodes. It would have increased the runtime, yes, but it would have been better. It would have maintained quality, and it would also have been just, you know, a thrill ride. I like that version of Breeze. Not as much as the Brain Attack version, no. But at least Core Hunter is fucking awesome. The prototype was a little more macabre for Bionicle because the Hero Factory skulls in white. Wow, that's brutal. Brutal. If you like Breakout the way it is, as you see it on LEGO's YouTube channel, well, that's fine, I guess. But think of the bigger picture. It would have been better. Much better. Way better. With the missing 6 characters. And better quality in terms of, well, the dialogue and the voice acting and whatnot. And the script. And the overall length of the episode would have been actual full movie length. But it wasn't that. We didn't get that because LEGO are selfish cunts. What do you think about the Hero Factory TV series? Yeah, I know some of you grew up with Hero Factory, probably. But think of the bigger picture. Think of what it could have been had they poured more resources and money, obviously, into it to make it more excellent than it probably is right now. Hero Factory is currently dead. The fans are trying their best to keep it alive, much like we are with Bionicle. Breakout had so much lost potential. Hero Factory in general had so much lost potential that it was absolute fucking balls, and we all know it. There was a live action movie that was going to happen, and it just never did. It never happened. And I was looking forward to that, actually. But LEGO weren't interested in a live action movie. They weren't interested in a live-action Hero Factory movie. That's why it never happened. That's why it went into development hell, as many movies did, much like Apocalypse Now. Wow. A live-action Hero Factory movie. That could have been something. That could have been something unique and different. We will never get that. And a live-action Bionicle movie, fucking forget it. Doesn't matter if it's G1 or G2, or a potential G3, which I don't think is going to happen at this point. But it needs to. We will never get a live-action Bionicle film. We almost got a fan CGI movie that ended up being balls. there are fan movies that are pretty good. Light in the Multiverse was pretty good, and it came out this year. Path to Power was pretty good. It's a stop motion film that's pretty good. But when it comes to the Hero Factory show, I feel like there was just something missing from it. A lot of heart, a lot of soul, a lot of, you know, meat to fill the orders, for a lack of better, whatever. The show really felt disjointed at some parts. And it sucked. It really sucked that the show felt disjointed. And yet we still watched it anyway, because we're suckers for a pain. In fact, I have the 2 DVDs that were released. You want to know why Breakout and Brain Attack were not officially released on DVD? Because they originally had a DVD deal for a new Bionicle trilogy that we only got one film for. So in 2010, instead, we got Rise of the Rookies, and in 2011, we got Savage Planet, and as a bonus, Ordeal of Fire. And that fulfilled their fucking DVD deal with whoever they were doing it for. So, they weren't going to release Breakout and Brain Attack on DVD. But, as I've said, a bootleg exists that you can get, but it's not official! Bootlegs tend to be dodgy, but I'm sure there's some high quality ones out there too. There are some high quality bootleg Lego sets that are pretty interesting, that include construction parts. My point about all this is there was just so much lost potential with Hero Factory that it hurts. It's painful to even think about, and it hurts right now just for me to talk about it, because, you know, it just feels like Hero Factory could have been something that could have lasted for eons, but it only gave us 5 years, 4 of which were good at best. The last year was horrible. If you defend Invasion from Below, you are 100% wrong, and immediately a moron. Brain Attack was the last good episode, and it was the last actual episode, because that walkthrough animation compilation, while it still exists on YouTube somewhere, it does not count as an actual episode. It's part of the fucking game. And the game was so shitty that I couldn't be bothered to play it. I refuse to play the game now. And in fact, it's not even available. It's probably not even available for as a downloadable ISO file or exe. Even if that's the case, I'm not playing it because I don't want to. Well, this was a long video, but I had a lot of shit to say, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video to some degree. Hero Factory fans, tell me why that LEGO decided to forego 6 fucking characters that they released physically on store shelves but didn't put in the fucking animation. Tell me why that never happened in the comment section below. Whether it's a logistics reason or a budgetary reason or something darker behind the scenes, it's still bullshit, and you all know it. Also, what was your favorite episode of Hero Factory? Mine is Brain Attack. Despite the plot holes, And the, well, the cliffhanger at the end with all the little brains that the dragon bolt spawned out of its anus. Yeah. I got one more video for y'all today. Well, actually, like 2. So stay tuned for more videos. I'm TheZOMBIEJ. I'll see you folks later. Have a good fucking day, and peace.